What most people misunderstand about entrepreneurship. Let's go ahead and get into it. If you're new to the channel, hello, my name is Jasmine. I have been a full-time content creator for the past 6 years. And just so you guys know, I don't think I'm doing anything that anyone else can't do. I really believe that anyone who is able-bodied can run a business. I really believe that. Like, there's nothing that you can say that's going to make me feel like I'm more special than someone else or I'm more talented than someone else, because that's not true. Now, you do have to have certain mindsets, right? You do have to have certain characteristics, but I do believe that anyone who wanted to could develop those things, because the characteristics and mindset that I have today, I didn't always have. This was something that I worked for every single day to become this version of me. But the thing that I think most people misunderstand when it comes to entrepreneurship is that it's not about talent. It's not about being the smartest. It's just about the person who's not willing to give up and who's willing to show up even if things are extremely hard, even if things aren't working out, even if you're not making any money, even if people are telling you that you can't do it, even if your platforms get shut down, now you got to make a new account, right? The person that just keeps showing up despite all of those things is the person who's going to be a successful entrepreneur. Okay, I've lost accounts. I've lost my Instagram multiple times when I first started so I started my business during COVID. My main Instagram is up and running now. Like, I don't have any issues with it now, but I had lost that Instagram multiple times. And at that time, years ago, that was the only account that was funneling people from social media onto OnlyFans. So when I lost that Instagram, I was like, oh shit, there goes my whole business model, right? But despite that, I had to be resilient and I had to make another account. I had to like get over it and be like, okay, Instagram took my account, so that means I got to have like 5 accounts, right? A lot of people, when one bad thing happens, they just shut down. They literally just shut down and they panic and then they freeze and they look like a deer in headlights. I'm not that person. Like, if something goes terribly wrong, yeah, I might be crying, I might be pissed, but I'm still moving. I'm gonna be crying while I'm making this new account. I'm gonna be crying while I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna pivot. And you need that to be an entrepreneur, because nothing is going to go your way. Like, not one thing. That's why I tell y'all, stop writing shit down. Stop trying to make this plan, because I promise you, the plan that you're writing down is not how things are going to go. I would have thought by now I'd be making 10 million a year. If you were to ask me in 2020, if I was an entrepreneur for 6 years, how much would I be making on year 6? I would have really believed I'd be making 10 million a year. Not even close. Not even close. Haven't even made my first million, right? But again, that's entrepreneurship. Nothing goes as planned. You're not going to get the results that you want in the time frame in which you want them, but you still have to show up. I've had days where I didn't make any money and I still had to show up. I had days where I didn't feel like creating content. I didn't feel like working on my business. I didn't feel like doing shit. And I still had to show up. I had days where I just felt like life was just lifing, stress was just stressing, and my mind was in a million different places, but I still had to show up. You got to keep going. You're going to run into so many hiccups along the way. And it's not about the hiccup itself. It's about how quickly can you get over it and keep showing up, keep moving, keep moving. And that's where most people struggle, because a lot of people just want to be perfect. And the quicker you can accept the fact that you'll never be perfect, no matter how hard you try, is the quicker you can get successful, because it's about resiliency. It's about just showing up, keeping going. Something else too, I think a lot of people misunderstand when it comes to entrepreneurship. And again, I can only speak from my experiences. I've never owned a business that like had an actual suite or like a brick and mortar or anything like that. Everything I had always done has been online, virtually, social media, right? Something else too is you may not you you may not get the same results as someone else. So meaning you could do the exact same thing as the next person to the T. Like, you could say the same exact things. You could post at the same exact time. You can make the same exact videos. And despite doing what one person is doing, that does not necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. And that's not a bad thing. I used to think that was a bad thing. And I used to get so upset down in the dumps, like, I'm doing everything they're doing. I'm showing up just like they are. Why are they making 10 times more than me? Why are their platforms growing 10 times faster than mine? That gets frustrating. Of course, I think anybody would be frustrated and irritated. But what works for one person may not work for another. And that's okay, because now you can figure out what works best for you. There's no one right way to making $1 million. There's about 50 million ways to get there. Okay. Everybody's path is literally different, and no two people are going to do the exact same thing at the same exact results. And the quicker you can accept that you're different, your path is different, your journey is different, the quicker you can figure out which journey and which path is best for you and then go full throttle on that. Yes, you can watch people for motivation. I used to do that too. Like, you can watch videos on how to create better YouTube videos. You can watch videos on how to run a better business. You can watch all the videos you want. But at the end of the day, what that person is saying, some of the things may work for you and some of the things may not. And that's okay. The only way you're going to know what works best for you, your business, and your content is by doing the thing. And the more videos you put out, the more products you sell, the more you'll start to see what's working for you and what's not. And you'll stop wasting your time on the things that are not working for you. Okay? It's okay that you may not get the same results as somebody else. But if you just keep showing up, keep being resilient, eventually you will get those results. They just may not be in that time frame. They may not be with that product. They may not be on that platform. But that's okay. Again, there's no right or wrong way to making $1 million. There's no right or wrong way to making 6 figures, right? There's no right or wrong way to making $50,000 a year. As long as it's legal, okay? As long as you're not hurting anybody, there's so many different ways to get it done. Now, the only thing you have to do is figure out what's the right way for you and then 10 extra efforts. That's it. Another thing that I think a lot of people don't get about entrepreneurship is it's not what you see on social media. And I'm speaking about Instagram. So at least on my algorithm, the things I used to see on Instagram is entrepreneurs taking lavish trips, buying expensive bags and expensive cars, just really living the soft life, right? They have a lot of friends. They're always like decked out in Louis and Chanel and Hermes, right? I haven't experienced that. I haven't experienced that at all. I have not taken a vacation since COVID. And even when no, I take that back. I took 2 trips in 2022, but those were work trips. That was to make content. It wasn't just a trip where I didn't look at my phone. I didn't record anything. I was still working, right? But I've never, in the 6 years that I've been an entrepreneur, had a vacation. And I have worked on my business every single day since I started. I have not had a day off, literally. Now, I may have lighter days. I may have days where, I only work for an hour, or maybe I just respond to emails, right? Maybe it's not a full day of content and editing and going live and doing this and that. I've had lighter days, but I've never had a full day off. Even when I had my surgery, so I had thyroid surgery April 7th, and before I even got to the hospital, I was responding to students inside Glow Up Academy. And then I didn't do anything else with it that day. And then the next day, I was responding to more messages inside of Glow Up Academy. So even with that, like, I have still done stuff for my business. As an entrepreneur, you are the core. And of course, you do want to scale your business to the point where your business can run when you're not there. Like, that's every entrepreneur's goal, right? But most entrepreneurs aren't there yet. Most entrepreneurs, they are still the glue that's holding everything together for the most part, right? I guess you could call it like a solopreneur or whatever. And that's okay. Every business goes through that. And eventually, like I said, you want to get to a point where you have a team and things can run even when you're not. But that's not my life yet, okay? And so I say all of that to say, you're going to be working in your business. You're going to be putting in the hours. It's not just trips and blowing all this money and you don't have to do anything. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to show up every day. That is a bold-faced lie. And even some of the most successful entrepreneurs who really do make money, like Gary Vee or Alex Hermosi, they work. Like you can see, they work. When do you ever see Gary Vee on vacation? He even said he rarely takes vacations. Alex Hermosi has said I think he said he took a vacation once with his wife, like not too long ago. And like 48 hours later, he was ready to get back to work. Dave Ramsey, he said he loves to work. A lot of these successful content creators that you see, like who are really successful, not just flexing, but who are really successful, they really love to work. Like they really love what they do. I really love what I do too. When I first started, I thought that I would want to have a business where I don't have to do anything, even though that doesn't exist, by the way. That does not exist. But I thought I would want a business where I don't have to do anything. But the more I do it, I love what I do. Like, it doesn't feel like work. I love how every single day that I get up, I'm doing something for my business. I love to work. And it's crazy because I used to hate my 9 to 5 and I was like, I'm not a worker. Like, I don't want to work. I want to be taken care of. I don't want to work. But that's because I didn't like that job. I didn't like what I was doing there. But I absolutely love what I do today. I couldn't even imagine taking 2 weeks off and not touching my business at all. Like, honestly, that sounds terrible. That sounds like torture just because I love what I do so much. I love making content. I love running Glow Up Academy. I love all of the things with all of my businesses. Like I love taking pictures and promoting my OnlyFans. Like I love that. I couldn't even imagine not doing that, right? And when you truly find something that you love to do, that's why I tell y'all when it comes to starting a business, an online business specifically, do something that you love, something that you're good at, something that is going to be profitable, yes, but it has to be in alignment with who you are. Because if it's not, well then yeah, you're going to want to take 10 months off because you hate what you're doing. But when you love what you're doing, when you love creating the content that you're creating and you love selling the products that you're selling, you begin to fall in love with the process. You begin to fall in love with the work, and it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like who you are, okay? Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Did any of these things that I say surprise you? I can't wait to see what you guys have to say. Also, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.